Good morning, good morning, good morning. How art thou? It is so good to see you all this morning, this Thursday morning, which I literally almost forgot that it was Thursday morning until that little alarm went off and was like, hey, you got the morning due this morning, girl, get it together. Um, so happy to see you all. It's been a long, long week. What I'll do today is I'll kind of give you a snapshot of where I am in where I'm at right now in Richmond, what's going on in Richmond, and then like where we go from here because it's been a hell of a week. If you've been in there with us, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. Um, so here's where I'm at. Here's what I got going on. So right now I am still in Richmond. I've been here since yesterday. It was a very long election day, and I definitely want to uh, recap what happened on Tuesday. Not too much because like I can't even think about Tuesday because I'm thinking about the so what now what. Grand Rising 757 report. Good to see you this morning. Um, Good morning, Mr. Little. Uh, it's a whole thing. All right, so like um, Tuesday election day did a lot of like y'all in it to win it. We very narrow margins, which I think was expected because of all the confusion of what's happening. But if you were here on the morning dew, you were not confused. I was very surprised. Oftentimes when I'm doing these lives, I think, girl, you just talking to yourself. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody out there. But what I've learned is that it's false. I had so many people come to me and tell me, hey, I watched the morning dew and got a better understanding and then was able to do some research. I think that makes me the most proud is that people were like, hey, I watched you, but then I looked some stuff up and now I got myself straight. And it's about having credible resources. My goal is not to hold power to myself because power, like my friend Kim Sutter say, power is not pie, it can be shared, but it's to help you be empowered. The vision for this office has and always will be. We deserve a commonwealth where you deserve to feel safe, supported, and empowered to improve your quality of life. That empower word helps me do my job better. That means I'm coming from a place of accountability. Yeah, yeah. Kevin said we were not confused, but people were. I'm gonna tell you, there were voters that were very much so confused. And I don't, I don't begrudge anyone, but I just need y'all to I need you to understand that I'm coming from a place of, as an educator, legislator. I always want to be in a place where I can educate, advocate, celebrate, then legislate. That is where where my where my what do you call it my charge lies. But I've been in Richmond. Yesterday was reconvene. For reconvene, we went through all of the governor's amendments, any changes that the governor made or at requested of us. Um, anything that she and her team requested of us, we had to go through all the changes, all the vetoes, and things like that. So we made it through that. Today, y'all, we supposed to be voting on a budget. It don't look like that's gonna happen. So I'm here. We'll probably gavel in here at noon. There's some activities happening this morning, but we won't have a budget. Why is that important to you? As a middle child of government, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Um, as a middle child of government, I realize people don't pay too much attention to what we do, but we hold the purse, right? So a part of having the Virginia purse is that all of the funding that trickles from the federal government down to the local government most time comes through the state government. Not most times, many times there's money that's flowing. A third of my school's budget, pieces of my locality's budget, that money comes from us. And so your school divisions, your cities, county cities and towns can't really decide what they're going to be doing for y'all if they don't know what our budget is going to look like. So it's imperative that we as lawmakers get this goddamn budget done. And we're working on it. Like we're working on it. I'm sure, at least I can say that um, running is easy, governing is hard. And I think if you watch Hamilton, you heard George Washington say that to him, that running is easy, governing is hard. Good morning, Jessica Anderson. Y'all give a shout out to Jessica Anderson. When delegates pop on here, I just want to tell them thank you. being up and at it. Like, this is what we do, doers. Like, grateful for you. Jessica sits right behind me and lives right up the road in the Williamsburg area. So we're grateful for her and who she is in this body. And if you don't follow her, please go and follow her. It's Jessica Anderson for Virginia as well. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's get into this. So we want to get a purse. It's going to be hard work, but we did something really important on Tuesday, and I want to make sure that I clear up about what happened, because people are starting to go around and talking about it, dressing it up, muddying it, memorializing about it, or moralizing about it, and pretending not to understand what is really playing. Okay. So, and please drop your comments in. And as always, if you want to join the live and talk about something different, please drop it in the comments and I'll let you in on the live. So what happened on Tuesday, if you don't know, you were in a bubble, Virginia voters, we approved the redistricting amendment, not from some Richmond politician back room, not from some smoke-filled room, not from some, like they tried to say, Richmond politicians. We didn't do it as a late night legislative trick where folks wake up and find out that our whole system has been rearranged while they fell asleep, which you see happening at the federal level, right? The Congress, the Republicans in Congress tried to do that. The people were asked here in Virginia, and the people answered here in Virginia. And so let's talk about it. We got to talk about this like we're grown. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. I'm going to go back to some of these bills. David James, I see what you're talking about. Good morning, Matthew Young. I'll get back to some of those bills, but I want to get through this redistricting thing to give people a better understanding of what we have. Okay, so redistricting is a very legal process, which is why we had to have a constitutional change. Gerrymandering is the abuse of that process. And what we are living through nationally, it's not even an academic debate, right? About lines on a map. It is a fight over political power, quite frankly, representation, and whether or not voters get to choose their politicians or politicians choose their voters. And by politicians, we're only talking about one here. The president of the United States wants to be able to choose his Congress, period. That's what this is about. And went to states. Remember, the middle child of government, y'all forget the state government, we're pretty powerful here, and went out to states and says, I want this kind of Congress, make Congress look like this, right? That's what homeboy said. That's what he did. And Texas and Missouri and North Carolina, all of these folks went up and was like, yeah, sure, boss, I'll do it. I'll find a legislature. We'll make maps to ensure that Congress looks the way that you want it to look. I'm looking up this screenshot that I took. So here's what happened. Here's where we're at, just so you understand. Before we passed our redistricting amendment on Tuesday, Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, and Ohio had already found 9 seats. Because again, this is about political power and representation. The president wants to pick his Congress. So they already found 9 seats. So because of California, possibly Utah and Virginia now, we have now approved 10 seats. Okay, so in Virginia, what the Virginia Democratic Party asks is, can we fight fire with fire? We need to hear without, we need the people to hear that without passing out, without being like, oh, whoa. Like, we had to put that in front of you. That is something that Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, and Ohio did not do. They did it the way that they're trying to say that we did it. We asked the people. We didn't just trust the insiders, because believe you me, there are insiders here, and the insiders be making moves. I'm just telling you, and it be pissing politicians off too. So you had the chance to read it. You had the chance to write about it. You had the chance to talk about it. You had the chance to hate it if you wanted to, or support it. But then you also had the chance to vote. That did not happen in other places. Virginia's own election material said exactly what it meant. Virginia, the General Assembly, right? We're going to redraw these maps. We're going to return to the thing about, I need you to understand, if you voted yes, is to understand that we're going back to the way we were in 2030. That's what's happening. And if we have to come back because that was in the ballot measure. And so none of this was in the shadows. None of this was quiet. I just need to make that clear, because when you start talking about this and where we go now, because this is not the time to be like, yeah, celebrate, rest on our laurels. Virginia, we did it. We did it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not where we're at right now. I need you to understand that's not the case. That's not the case. So now, that doesn't mean that everybody has to like the outcome, but it does mean that everybody has a chance. We have a chance to not have a president that just picks his Congress, and that can be said. That can be said a lot of what, like, other states, where the power is. Like, that can be said a lot about where the state's power is. It is being exercised straight through the legislative muscle with executive pressure, and that's what they're doing. They're using their legislative arm to appease the president. And I need y'all to understand this. Because of that big win, it is freaking frustrating for the president of the United States, who has gone on camera, and I saved the video to say, a lot of people call me a king. I'm, a king. That sounds good, huh? King. I'm like, dude, like, this cannot be. I hate to. I mean, it's like, this cannot be real. So here's what's happening, and this is why I'm telling you this, doers, because I want you to keep your ears, eyes open. Florida is the next place that we got to watch extremely closely. Governor DeSantis has already called for a special session for their congressional redistricting. We're just talking about congressional maps, not talking about the state legislature maps, none of that. And it's already been reported that even after they shifted the date, the redistricting still stayed on the agenda from there. And what's so important for you to hold in hand is that Florida also has a constitutional language saying that maps are not supposed to be drawn to favor or disfavor a political party or an incumbent. So what happens there, it is not just a political fight. It's likely to be a legal and moral fight too, just like it is in Virginia. There's going to be a legal fight here, right? We got that. So the so what now, what is simple, that we don't get to celebrate like the job is over. We can be proud of Virginians for exercising the democratic part of our republic and making a choice, because that's what we did here in Virginia. But we don't get to celebrate like the job is over. We celebrate because the win matters, organizing matters. But when we go back to work, we have to get back to work, because democracy is not like some kind of, I don't know, spa day, which I actually dreamed about a spa day last night. It is labor. It is an assignment. People in Iowa, people in Texas, and all over this country helped Virginia. People made calls, people knocked doors, people text, they explained, they persuaded, they reminded, and they refused to let people sort of sleepwalk through this power fight. I'm telling you, I was on a call where there was organizations from all over, and shout out to Network Nova, shout out to COVA, shout out to Rural Ground Game, all of these Virginia organizations that brought in other organizations from across the country to call over 1 million Virginians to tell them about this referendum. That happened, right? Because that solidarity is going to matter so much as a country. Coalition matters so much. And now if Florida becomes the next frontier, then our answer cannot be silence, because we just won our referendum in Virginia. Our answer has to be reciprocity. That means they showed up for Virginia. We're going to have to show up for Florida. That could mean calls, y'all. That could mean text. That could mean money. That could mean amplifying trusted information. And I'm going to underscore the trusted information. It could mean helping people understand that redistricting is not just a boring issue. It is one of the ways that power is decided and whether your vote can actually mean something. I don't know how Florida is going to do it, right? Are they going to be like Texas? Are they going to be like Missouri, North Carolina, or are they going to be like Ohio and not give their voters a chance? I'm not sure. We'll wait and see what happens. But I want to say this as plainly as possible for doers, as plainly as possible. Don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking the process does not matter, because it does. It matters in Virginia, because the voters had to say. It is a public fight, and it matters for democracy, even when democracy is messy as hell, right? People are still asked the question. You still get to choose your representation, but you do have a president that is trying to choose his legislative branch, and because I'm going to pause for a second, like I'm breathing because I'm getting a little hyped up. I'm getting a little hyped up. The numbers were a lot different than the governor election results 6 months ago. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm reading. It says the vote numbers were a lot different than the governor's election results from just 6 months ago. Glad that the GA rejected a lot of her amendments. She might have messed up the hard work. Yeah, this is what I love, and what I was trying to tell my colleagues, that we were like, this is a lot. What this should show you, and what David is alluding to, is the process in the reconvene right now. What David alluded to is like, we are not just co-signing each other on the executive and the legislative branch. You should actually be proud that you have a governor that, even though she has both, her friends are in both chambers, that she is still governing and not just signing off or whatever. And you should be proud of you are having a legislature that, even though we're all the same party, that we're not just signing off on each other's stuff. Like, this is what government looks like. We're not going to like everything that the governor puts out. The governor's not going to like everything that we're going to put out, but this is governing. And that is the executive branch. We are the legislative branch, and it is not meant to operate the way the president of the United States wants it to operate. As in, it is for his bidding, it is for his doing, and that he should have a legislative branch that just does whatever he says he wants it to do, right? The powers are separate but equal for a reason. And I can say that I'm, for what it's worth, I can say thanks to the founding fathers for that. Separate but equal, co-equal branches of government. I don't work for the governor. The governor does not work for me. I don't have to like everything that the governor does. The governor doesn't have to like everything that we do. So yes, we didn't, we accepted some amendments. We passed some amendments by. We did. That's governing, y'all. Even with your team, it's like a family. One person can't just get their way. But again, at the federal level, if the president of the United States gets their way, then this doesn't happen. This governance thing, this civil discourse thing that I get to have with my colleagues that sit right next to me, or my colleagues that sit across the aisle from me, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So we're trying to stay in that. So I think you'd be proud that be proud that she did things you didn't like, and we did things that you didn't like, and we are showing that we disagree and trying to do it in a way that is governance. Yeah, for real. That's important, because we don't want a government that stops asking people, that starts engineering the outcomes around you, right? We don't want that, and that's where, that is where the Republic piece starts acting funny. And now, to be truly honest about Virginia, at least in my transparent, I think Virginia's result is already facing legal challenges, just like Florida might have that happen. So we should be proud. We should absolutely be proud, but we should also be precise. The voters spoke. The courts are now being asked to weigh in. That is the judicial branch of government that gets to do their thing, right? Co-equal branches of governments, right? The governor signs off on the legislation to allow us to do this. We put it to you all, and now the courts are going to look at it. That's the three. If you didn't know the three branches of government, this is the time where you're just seeing it work. This is real. That all of that to say, I say all of that to put in your hands that this fight, it's not over. It just changed venues. It's just, you got to look at every branch of government as a venue. And so this is kind of the charge today, I think, that I think I have for Doers. Not I think. The charge for Doers is learning the play, right? learning how this works, right? Don't get distracted by headlines alone. I know it's hard because we do live in a system of massive information, but please don't get distracted by headlines and be ready to move when democracy needs doers and not, some just spectators. This is not a spectator sport. Virginia did not fix America on Tuesday. We didn't. But Virginia did remind the country that if you go make a power move, the people ought to at least get to vote about it. And that means something. It should mean something to you, whether you voted yes or no, that you still live in a place where you got options. So that's my take. I think we're on standby to standby. That's what we used to say in the military, standby to standby, like, because it's on. It's not, this is not, it ain't over. It ain't over. It's not over. All right. Okay, so let me take a look at the comments here. What we got. I'm going back through, y'all. I said I would. David James says, good morning. That's my take. I just wanted y'all to hear that because I feel like we need to understand that, it feels good, but it feels like what's next. So David James says, good morning. Thank you for sending the original cannabis recreational sales bill back to the governor. Yeah, part of the conversation, a couple of us went to talk to the patron just to hold in hand. So we had a bill for recreational cannabis use. The thing that Virginia wants to get right with that bill is the historical disenfranchisement and quite frankly, incarceration, abuse, and left out of markets that's happened to certain groups of people, particularly people of color, especially Black folks. Like, that's a real thing. That incarceration rate for that is real. I think that there are, we don't want to miss the mark. We don't want to be a legislature that missed the marks on that. So I'm very proud of it. If you guys don't know, and you can follow him on Instagram, his name is Paul Krizik. Delegate Paul Krizik. He represents the Mount Vernon area of Virginia. We were talking the other day and we called him, someone said, he's like the chairman of vices, not the vice chairman, but the chairman of vices. So he is the chair for the General Laws Committee, but he's a leader on alcohol, gaming, cannabis. It's like he leads all the vices. So the chairman of Vice, Paul Krizik. I want you guys to get to know these other state legislators because they're leading on things that you may not see me have in my hands. So you should know who these people are because it's going to affect your life. So give a shout out to Paul Krizik in the House. He really is our front man on this and is wicked smart. And he's also my office mate, a suite mate. And I feel grateful, and I tell him this and I mean it. I feel super grateful to live across from him. Hi, Matthew. Do I think she will veto it? I don't know. So that bill we were just talking about, HB 542, do I think that he will, that the governor will veto it? I don't know. And that's all a part of this process, right? Of having a executive branch that's going to make the best decisions that they think they have because it's an executive branch. Their team are going to make their decisions and we're just going to have to live with what comes of that. The beauty of the legislative process is that there is always next year. So if there's another opportunity to bring it back or make changes, 2027 is it. And if it's your thing, which I know it is your thing, David James, then this is the time that we start this summer. We start leaning in and leaning on legislators, y'all. So on those things that matters most that did or did not happen. Happy Thursday, Miss Karen. I love this. This is true, Kathy. This is actually healthy government. What we're talking about, the way we go back and forth, the way that is healthy. It's actually normal. And I love being a part of a healthy government. Conflict can breed some amazing things. Hey, Rasmali, good morning. Okay. David James, thoughts on First Fridays being canceled. I got a little laugh that litter was caused. Norfolk really needs to get back to enforcing litter laws. Tired of being punished for other people's actions. Yeah. I think it's really hard. I told myself, I was like, I was so excited for the city for having so many people excited about First Fridays. I got asked like so many times, are you going to First Fridays? It's just really nice to have something that they can consistently look forward to that felt like an opportunity to have a good quality of life. Remember, I said safe, supported, and empowered to improve your quality of life. I believe that every Virginian should have a life outside of work. And what that looks like is something like First Friday. So disappointed, but trash is a problem. And always, I was civic league president. Speeding and trash is always a thing. I think somebody mentioned something I agree with. They were like, hey, after the parade, they clean up the trash. It's a whole thing. What's the deal? But also as humans, we do got to get better. So it's a, this is governing. Go advocate. I was like, should I put something on that that'll supplement for First Friday? Because I got to raise some money because we got work to do. Yes. So also, if you believe in our work, please contribute. Go to the website, delegatejackie.glass.com and contribute. Like none of this happens in a silo. So I should always be in fundraising mode, but we be working and educating. Somebody says, what's the basis for the court challenge of Tuesday's vote? Oh, what the constitutionality of it, whether it was done properly, Catherine. So there are folks challenging, saying that we're not allowed to do this or that the maps are not fair. Like it's a number of reasons. So we'll see. We will see what comes of the court case, what comes of it. It'll be interesting. What is this? Spamberger said her amendments on the counties bill came from the advice of other states. Nah, we've already worked through it, not other states. But okay, so I'll say this, right? This is the thing about governing. Sometimes I'm looking at how other states have made things happen to get to the best possible answer. So we do things in Virginia the way Virginia likes to do them, but we also have to take lessons learned. We have to take lessons learned for real. Okay. Like that's, it's not a weird thing to look at what another state is doing, and say, can we glean from that? Or I might think this is a better idea. I would say I would be proud because she's using her resources, because sometimes people are not paying attention to things, but also we try things. We do the things we can. Kim Sutter says, I think you're talking about Paul Krizik, and he is fun. Absolutely fun. Please go follow him. Paul Krizik. Tell him I sent you. Tell him I sent you. Also, yeah. So I love this. David saying Chairman of Vice also being such a caring and thoughtful fella. He is that. He is one of the most caring and thoughtful delegates that we had. And for me, Delegate Krizik is a reminder of the good in this work. Like they're just good. They're just good people trying to do this, that are just trying to do good. And I'm grateful. A question over here says, can we be healthy without can we be healthy without the fascism though? I am with you, cousin Ed. I am with you. Can we just be healthy without the fascism? Yes, please. I'll take that. Can I order that? A healthy democracy. Yep. Karen Berry says, can you break down the congressional district spend so that our nonprofits can know how to position themselves? I cannot break down the congressional district spend, but I can, if you hit me up, I can see if I can reach out to the congressman's office to see what that spend is. Okay. I just reach out to my office, keep me honest about it. It's scrolling across here, the Del J Glass at house.virginia.gov, and we can connect you to somebody that can get you that information, because I don't know it. I don't know it offhand, and I don't necessarily know where to start. So we will get on it. Just send it my way. What do we got here? And I'm looking, making sure we have no more on Instagram. I'm on to litter legislation or other quality of life issues in my neighborhood. You're doing a great job, and thank you for being a good advocate in your community. The couch got dumped in our neighborhood business easement. Their new lawn crew tossed it in the street, hit up the city, nothing. That's wild. That's wild. Did you take, what I would do is I would take that Norfolk Cares transaction number, and I would send it to my council person, CC the mayor, just for understanding, and give them the chance. This is an election year. Let me just say that too, that our city council and our school board, they're all on the ballot, and it is an important year towards getting more representative of government. So if you like what you've been seeing, please go out and vote. If you don't like what you've been seeing, please go out and vote. But it is an opportunity right now. It is a real opportunity at the state level. Here's what's really interesting. If you're in Hampton Roads, and if you're not, please rock with me for a second. I have been in situations as a legislator. I am also learning how the region works. And the whole saying of like, we can't get out of our own way. I'm like, that can't be true. And that is absolutely true. What is going to happen in the 2028 election, y'all, is we have 4 mayors in the Hampton Roads area that are not up for reelection. Not that they're not running again. That's a game changer. That's in 2 years. And so we really, as a region, need to be thinking about people that are region forward, because that is the only way that this area is going to grow. We cannot grow individual cities. Like that's it. Suffolk is booming over there. Franklin is a part of, like, that is not going to work in our area. We have to operate as a metropolitan area, and the metropolitan area is Hampton Roads, and finding mayors that believe in that. And this is a shot, because I can tell you, I've been in Richmond. I've been advocating for things that would help every city in our region. And the one thing that would stop me were I had mayors on background not wanting that regionalism, right? like say it to your face, but like really it was a real challenge, and it was really unfortunate, because I even had some of them say, tell me to my face, which I love when you can come to me direct. But I'll say this to you, it is a real opportunity to find people in the next year, because running actually starts now. It starts at the top of next year, that really want to lead the 757 through a locality, want to lead this region forward. Who are those people, right? Who are those people? Who are those people? Okay. Self-love. Yes, self-love is important. Thank you so much for saying that. Self-love. You got to love yourself. If you love yourself, you're going to participate. I'm going to take a couple more minutes. I got a couple more questions, and then I'll keep it moving. David James, bro, LOL. It's almost a fight getting help from the city. Norfolk Cares. I don't love that for you. Go way harder than just putting it on requests. Is Kim still on the IG? Oh, he said, is Kim still? Kim, he said he talks to you. I love this. Love it. Yep. Okay, gotcha. From Instagram, Javon says, when is the next time you have some free time? I have some things I'm working on and want your opinion. Okay, brother. When is the next I have some free time? There's not free time, but there's always purpose-built time. Send Jay a message at the Del J account and say, hey, I want to get on the delegates calendar. Please let her know you are a college student, because I think you are. Remember that. Just making sure. And we try to prioritize people under 18. Don't be mad at me, y'all. We prioritize our constituents, the youth, and the elders, and then everybody else. Constituents, the young people, the elders, and then everybody else. Just telling y'all, being transparent. That's my hierarchy of things. So just tell her it can be a phone call, okay? Because that's probably easier to get. You can catch me on the road. I've got a busy road ahead of work and life, and just trying to figure things out. So do that. That's the way I would do it, Javon. Cousin, we don't seem like this area takes care of teachers. New teacher turnover is very high, and you know it. And there's a heavy poaching process that happens amongst these amongst the teachers. And I've met in the past, actually at the polls in the past couple of weeks, I've just had several educators say I left because I had to. Because I had to have a good quality of life. I left the profession, and I don't begrudge them, but I know it's a crisis. I know it's a crisis because being treated poorly is not something anyone likes to stand in. No one likes to stand in at all. This region. Kathy, if you don't have a budget to vote on today, do you stay in session till you have it, or do you reconvene when it's done? So going back to kind of, why I'm still in Richmond after reconvene. Reconvene is very constitutionally very strict. And reconvene, we can only do actions taken by the governor on legislation that happened during our legislative session process. So we don't do anything outside of vetoes, amendments, and that's it. Like constant by the Virginia state constitution, that's the only thing that we do, right? Period. So we have a special session that we will gavel in. By gaveling in, it's like the speaker saying, all right, we're now in special session. That was already called for the budget today, but we don't have a budget as of now. We do not have a budget. Maybe in a couple weeks. I know that things are ongoing. That's just an ongoing process. So, when we gavel in today, we'll have to do procedural things like here's the process for how we're going to move forward with when we do get a budget, right? For us, they try to notify us, I think, by constitution or law, whatever, procedurally, by procedure, and maybe a procedure that we adopted, they have to give us 48 hours to ahead of time to let us know when we're gaveling. So quite literally, Kathy, I may find out that we have a budget, and in 2 days I'm voting on a budget. Those 2 days are there for the good of the order for everybody so that we get a chance to look at the budget. But I can tell you the budget is a beast. I would love to have a community of people who want to sit and go through the budget with me because it's a lot. It is a lot. I mean, and it's something like you got to pay attention to like the fine print because sometimes people try to legislate through the budget. It's a whole thing. So we will gavel in for the special session, and then we'll probably find out what the procedure is going to be for another, or we will recess from the special session until we get a budget, right? I don't know if we're going to recess or if we're going to adjourn, or we'll have a special session too, but we stayed in a special session for quite a bit of time before, like it was 2025 and we were still in special session 2024. So to that point, we won't know till today. So it's just process. As soon as I know, y'all will know. Okay. David James says, yo, cousin it, who is on Instagram. So you can't see his comments up here. We need way more pay for teachers. Maybe not to do, what is it? I don't know what that means. 67M to Chrysler Hall, but to go around. Yeah. I don't know what that means. I'm just reading it so cousin it can see it. He's on Instagram. And I know that, again, I can't put Instagram stuff up here because it just doesn't allow for it. Another teacher's comment, Catherine Fletcher says, read teachers, there's a fundraiser from 11 to 2 today. Hey guys, listen up. Please share with your friends. There's a fundraiser from 11 to 2 today for ODU students of Virginia Education Association at Borjo's. I love Borjo Coffee House. That is 4416 Monarch Way. And it's for aspiring educators. Thank you. Aspiring teachers. Thank you. Put that on your calendar, lock in. Go get your coffee there today. Go get your snacky snack, as we like to say. My kids will say, you need a little snacky snack. Get your little snacky snack from Borjo's today for their fundraiser. Thank you for sharing that, Catherine. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This will be I think this will be my last question. And I'm going to try to get together and be where I'm supposed to be. Cousin Ed says, special local committee to review the budget. I love it. The budget is a beast, but if you can understand the budget, that is where the power lies. If you can understand the rules of the floor, which I'm still trying to learn. I've been here. This is my 5th session. And like, it's so many rules to like have in your head and like, no. So I'm like, I need to learn the rules. But the rules and the budget, that's power, man. So yeah, I would love it because in a special local committee to review the budget. Let's do it. It says nonprofits are really depending on our state government to help communities. We're going to try. We're going to try. Like, I've got a budget line item in for a couple of nonprofits. I don't know if it'll shake out. We'll see. It's just been a thing. And David James Glass says 76 million for, oh yeah. That's a whole thing. I've been hearing about the Chrysler. You have no idea. The $76 million for the renovation in the budget. We got a ton of other things that need to be fixed first. I know it's a tough bet. It is really, but just, yeah, it's, I have not looked at the budget for the city budget, but I do want people to understand, like, the budget really is reflective of values. And when you have values, you have to be able to articulate them and defend them, quite frankly, very well, just like democracy. It is a value of ours. Integrity isn't a value of ours, and we are defending it. And we had to be very clear with this referendum of what we were doing it and why. And we weren't as clear as we probably could have been at first, but I think it's very clear now. And I want you all to understand that I am not a legislator that is going to enable you to just come to me and dump. I'm going to let you dump, and then we're going to figure out where we go from here, because I believe the more that you are empowered, more information, process, and understanding that you are empowered with, the more people that get taken care of, because I am but one. I am but one. And in our area, in at least in Hampton Roads area, there are very few working class legislators. There are very few legislators that are parents, and even fewer that are mothers, because there's a different cultural responsibility that we have there. So I can't be everybody's everything, and I'm not trying to, but I want to give you what I have, what resources I have, so that you can go out and do good and do great and be of service in the community, or just your block. I'm not saying you got to shift everything, but yeah. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that for either of us, because I don't necessarily want to fail you. Oh God, I'm going to be late for it. Sorry. I don't. That was an actual reaction. Sorry. All right. So doers, man, this is the work. This is the work. This is the work. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Oh, hold on. What you got? Yes, we did. We talked about, sorry. So yeah, we did. Hey, Kristen. So just got here. If you covered it, it might have to do anything with the budget, but what are we doing about? So luckily we talked about that first thing. David, James, if you can drop a comment and this is going to be neighbors helping neighbors. David James Glass sort of asked some questions about that. And I want to make sure that you get the answer to that. I think we we passed by the amendments, which ultimately is kind of the same thing. We'll see what happens. So just for y'all to understand, when we pass by amendments, meaning like you took action, we're not going to take any action on it. The governor has the opportunity to either sign it or just let it roll into law without signing it, or vetoing it. So once everything that we've done, once it goes back to the governor, the team, she gets to choose. Does she stroke the pen? Does she let it become law? Or does she say, nah, that's not happening? Right? That's government. That's government. Right? That's the government you want. You do not want your governor, your president, your mayor choosing their team that represents you. They can choose their team that helps them serve you, but they don't get to choose who represents you. That is a problem. That's not just a problem nationally. That is a problem statewide. That is a problem local-wise, which is why I told y'all we got to start thinking about these 4 mayors that are up. You got to start thinking about who is on your city councils and ask them, Do you believe in regional work? Do you believe that Hampton Roads is better as a metropolitan area? What does that look like for you? Who are you going to work with? How are you going to make it happen? Like, we have got to take care of each other. And I'm not playing, man. It's not, we cannot afford, because coins are thin. And I see the nonprofits, the coins are thin, money is thin, patience is thin. People are being pinched, and I would be remiss if I didn't say to you, like, I'm looking at the circumstances of my life right now, and looking at, and I've said, I know I've shared it, because I'm not afraid to, because I just need y'all to understand this is also not a game for me. Is that my water bill's up, my electricity bill's up, my college kid just broke a compressor, or that belt, the drive belt broke, and this and thing broke. That's a $1,400 car bill. Also needs pictures. Also, the taxes went up, are up. Actually, they remained the same, but over the past 5 years, my actually no, it went up $100. And over the past 5 years, my car insurance has gone up. Last year, I got hit hard. And like, these are the things. I am also holding the things, trying to legislate from a place of truth and love, for nothing. So please support this. I hope when the budget comes that you all understand why I'm so supportive of a legislator pay raise, because there hasn't been one since the 80s, I think 1989 in the House, or 1988, somewhere around there, because it is hard. And I know a lot of legislators that are saying at this time, the way we are economically, the good ones, the really, really good ones, saying, I don't think that this is feasible. It is taking too much from me, from my family, and they have to choose themselves. And we can't begrudge them for that. We have to understand that it's not all economic. And sometimes it is just the dynamics of people in this process that are allowed to have the heaviest and largest voices. But I can tell you, for me, the things that empower me and keep me going is that I have a family that support me, and then a community that reminds me, like, we asked you to show up in this way, right? So I don't walk in not confident, and you all can take a lot of credit for that. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, you all can take a lot of credit for that. So I'm grateful to you for that thing. Remember that we have a government that works. We don't want the president picking his people. We don't want that. Did we say that? My last thing I'm going to say here for you all is, like, our due, right? Our actions, the things that we need to do. If you missed the whole morning due, know this. Virginia showed up. We might have to show up for Florida. So I need y'all to understand that when I do this call that says, hey, we're going to be making calls. When I say we're going to be doing text, that means, can you give some coins? Can you amplify trusted information? It's all hands on decks. The same way these other people showed up for Virginia to help us get it done. We're going to have to understand that this is a national fight, and that we're in it. We done already punched, and we're waiting for a counter punch. We'll stand by for the court decision to figure out, what happens there, right? This is how government works, right? If you, I'm gonna say it again, if you didn't know the 3 branches of government, you know them now, right? You know them now, and they're all operating. Right. So what's going to happen? We'll be on the lookout, and you all can be on the news, be on the lookout of what's happening at the judicial level. Know that this is not boring. This is exciting and frustrating and scary all at the same time. But again, don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking that what we are doing does not matter. It does. This public fight it's a good visibility for how we hope things work. All right. Democracy is messy. Okay. So until next time, be kind to yourself, drink water, your flower. I appreciate all the questions, comments that we had today. If there's anything else, especially for the folks on here who asked for a meeting and all that good stuff, reach out to the office. Jay will get back to you. And know how I prioritize. So just if it takes a little bit longer for us to get back to you, it's because either you're not a constituent, you're not a young person, and you're not a senior citizen. So you go not to the back of the line, but you go a little bit further back. That's how we prioritize the time, and time is finite. And and for some of you, if you're trying to get on my calendar too, it is okay to let my staff know that you might want a phone call. Like, it's okay to want a phone. If you can do a phone call, that's a lot easier than trying to get a Zoom or whatever. I'm in transit. Okay. I'm in transit a lot. Miss Donna, thank you, Miss Julia. I appreciate you as well. Miss Donna, thank back at you, babe. And yes, this is absolutely real. I'm gonna high five you on this. Not that that's not what I meant to say. David James, thank you. Yes, because dumping without solution is just a sucking a pacifier. We doers don't do pacifiers, right? We don't do pacifiers. So I appreciate you. All right, for real. You're welcome, Catherine. Until next time. I don't want to go because I got stuff to do, right? Boo, going to work. But it's what we do. All right. Till next time, Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the Laced legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Always honored to serve, always grateful to serve, and we'll do it until we can't do it no more. All right. Be well. Take care. Bye.